Here are presentation design elements I want you to use in your PowerPoint presentations that you give to the class. We're going to talk about font type, font size, the type of text, amount of text, colors and contrast, and avoiding distractions. Alright, first, font type. What do we mean by font type? Font, the different fonts are the different styles of letters, and here's some examples. Some of these are harder to read than others. Some of them are easier to read. So I'd like for you to use Verdana or Arial, one of those two types of font. How do you choose the type of font? In PowerPoint, if you look up here, see this font section, and you can choose the type of font that you want. Other types of font are more difficult for the viewer to read, so I want you to use Verdana or Arial. The size of font, I want you to use either 34 or 36 font. Here is a 34 font, and that's about as small as I want you to make your letters. Any smaller and it makes it more difficult for the viewer to see. Okay. Now the type of text, I want you to use capital letters and lowercase letters. If you look at this is all uppercase letters, and that is more difficult to read than, say, this example where we have both uppercase and lowercase, both capital letters and lowercase letters. This is easier to read. Okay. Now, as far as the quantity of text on your slide, I want you to use the 5 by 5 rule, 5 words per line, or no more than 5 words per line, and no more than 5 lines per slide. If you look at this example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, here's 9 words per line, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. That's too much information. The same information is given in this slide, but we're following the maximum of 5 words per line and a maximum of no more than 5 lines. In this case, we were able to make that all in 4 lines. Okay. For color and contrast, this is probably a little bit difficult to read, especially if a student's sitting in the back of the classroom. Why is that? Because this section, the text is too light colored on this light colored background. You can use light colored text, but you have to have a darker background. Okay? You have to have that contrast between the letters and the background for the reader to be able to see. Okay. Alright, so avoiding distractions, check your spelling. In this case, when you're using PowerPoint, you'll see that if you misspell a word, or if there's a word that PowerPoint doesn't have in your dictionary, that it'll underline it in red. You can right click and it'll give you suggestions on how they think you should spell the words. So misspelling is very distracting for readers or for viewers. Okay. Let's talk about transitions. What do we mean by transitions? Well, I will show you. This is a transition. Okay, transitions are too distracting, so don't use them. Another type of transition is sound effects. So sound effects are also too distracting, so don't use them. That is the end. Thank you.